I want to talk about the elephant in the room. Throughout this pandemic, much has transpired. There has been the immense mourning of those who alas lost their lives to this wretched virus. There has been the wonderful celebrations of those who battled hard and were fortunate to recover. But amidst this all, there is another factor that has raged through the community and wider society, which has, by and large, been somewhat ignored or certainly not received the same level of attention, and that is the mental health factor. Parents dealing with the stress of balancing work and children at home. Children struggling with a whole new school-type environment with minimal friend interaction. Seniors in isolation denied their usual family visits. And beyond all that, just this whole new normal that generates all forms of anxiety. I would venture to say everyone has been affected one way or another. And then there are the many who have been dealing with similar or other such-like concerns long before COVID-19 was even a term. For them, this period in time has only served to exacerbate the challenges. Let's face it, it's not something a lot of people talk about, and whilst society as a whole has been addressing the matter more head-on, it still doesn't get the attention it deserves. This week is Mental Health Week, and therefore as good a time as any to talk about this, especially as perhaps now we can all relate that little bit more. What mental health needs is more sunlight, more openness, and more unashamed conversation. Even as you look at someone whom you might think is coping well with life, doesn't mean they're not struggling, just that they're better at hiding it. And just because they carry it well doesn't mean it isn't heavy. But if we stigmatized less and talked more, maybe that would lighten the load, even if only just a little bit. I remember years ago walking with this ostentatious sling on my hand. I got a lot of sympathy wherever I went. Cars and buses stopped to enable me to cross the road. People politely moved out of the way, and there's always the one or two who asked what happened. But what of the many who don't wear their pain on their sleeve, quite literally? What about those who may be hurting on the inside? When we see someone acting out of character, do we pause long enough to consider that perhaps they may be undergoing some internal difficulty, some form of emotional distress? Some people wear glasses. Can they manage without glasses? Sure, they could go squinting through life. They could take a bus or a taxi instead of driving. They could just accept that they'll never be able to see the birds fly or the glow of a supermoon. But why? Why should anyone have to just manage when they could put on a pair of glasses? No one would tell a visually impaired person they should just get on with it or tell them to accept their new normal. They would encourage them to get a pair of glasses so that they could see the world as it is once more. We in the community, we're fortunate to have organizations like Jamie that are there to turn to help with those glasses, as it were. Many communities everywhere have something similar. We need to raise even more awareness, especially now. We need to be more attuned to those going through the struggles, and we need to be honest enough with ourselves as well and address rather than suppress that which may be going on inside us or those around us. Because what we achieve inwardly will change our outer reality. Meanwhile, as we all navigate this journey through unfamiliar terrain, let's recognize that we ought to prioritize self-care, that we shouldn't hesitate to ask for help. And remember, whilst not every day is good, there is something good in every day.